Remakes. Love them or hate them, they're sticking with us for the rest of time. Until Disney churns out Snow White and the Seven Tall People. Maybe that'll change things. But in the not-so-distant future, we have plenty of gaming remakes coming out. There are more than a few reasons to be skeptical of gaming remakes. Firstly, I want to get into art style. To me, these games were made with technical limitations of the time in mind, and the art style reflects that. And I think there's a certain charm to sprite-based art styles that not a lot of AAA developers are giving the time of day. Some of these remakes just feel awkward to me in the way that they look visually. Super Mario RPG, for example, I mean, it looks good, but like, it doesn't feel the same, you know? But imagine the Super Mario RPG remake if it were still sprite-based, but like it was hyper like sprite art, you know? I don't know if you guys know, but sprite art is actually a very untapped kind of market right now. You know, Sonic Mania has good sprite art. Not a lot of people are doing sprite art in their games without technical limitation. Take, for instance, Owlboy. You know, Owlboy has amazing sprite art. Some of the detail rivals even AAA games. Sprite art is actually something that we should be keeping, not something that should be pushed away for a majority of these remakes. Not to mention the fact that the Super Mario RPG remake is not only not doing sprite art, but it feels like an old game. It seems to be taking it way too safe. It looks like the original game copy and pasted with a new art style. There's no new content, nothing changed about the battle system, the UI. It feels lazy. These remakes sometimes don't innovate enough. And it makes it to where there's no really good reason for me to play these remakes over the original versions, since I think the original versions of these games had more charm, just due to the fact of the art style and the old sound effects. And speaking of innovation, there's one thing I want to get to, is when a gaming remake goes too far. And why do I say that? The reason why I think some remakes go too far is, take Final Fantasy VII Remake, for example. Final Fantasy VII Remake isn't a remake. That might rub some people the wrong way. It has the same story, same character, same everything. And I guess it's an RPG, something like that, I guess. But it's not turn-based. The original game was turn-based, it had a turn-based combat system, and Final Fantasy VII Remake just threw that out the window. The gameplay is so different from a structural level in Final Fantasy VII Remake, I don't think you can even consider it an actual remake. And to be fair, you know, maybe it's better. You know, some people like action-based combat more than turn-based, and I understand that. But to me, and the people that grew up with Final Fantasy VII, the original, they're going to go back and play the original. If I had the choice, turn-based combat system or action-based combat system, I'm choosing the original turn-based. I'm choosing those original polygon graphics, while a visually beautiful game and the soundtrack, everything. Final Fantasy VII Remake doesn't excel as a remake. And I think these remakes need to start striking a balance between paying homage to the original version in terms of actual gameplay structure, while fixing the issues that made the game not so good in the first place. And I think some of these remakes need to start adding more content. These original games were not big on content in the first place, you know, that you could breeze through some of these games within like an hour or so. So, you know, maybe some extra bonus content thrown in there from time to time would be very, very nice. You know, the Resident Evil games, I think, are amazing examples of remakes that take the original intention of the game and dial it up to max, but aren't afraid to do something new with the concepts of the original game. And if you have money to spend, go ahead and buy Resident Evil 4 Remake, a certified banger. But the thing I want to get into on a wider scale is the fact that these remakes are remaking games that people already love. Not once have I seen a remake of a game that might not have been popular with people. I think instead of making remakes for games that are already good, I think these companies should go in their back catalog and pick out games that, while might not have been good at the time, had ideas on the table that could have worked out had they have gone a different direction mechanically. You know, I can think of a couple games off the top of my head that did have potential, but did not live up to that potential. And I think those are the types of games that Nintendo and Sega should start remaking. You know, the hidden gems. And yeah, what are your thoughts about gaming remakes? And I think this is a topic that's become pretty popular within the whole gaming sphere. And you know, while I might be a skeptic, you may not, and you might love these remakes, and everybody has their own opinions. Yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.